Imagine waking up one morning, not to the sound of birds chirping or the bustle of city life, but to the serene silence of space, with Earth glowing like a blue marble outside your window. What once seemed like a scene from a sci-fi movie is now inching closer to reality, as companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin Galactic race to turn space tourism into the next big adventure. But how soon will the average person be able to trade their beach vacation for a journey among the stars? The answer might surprise you, and it's closer than you think. The dawn of space tourism. The year was 2023, and the world watched in awe as the first group of civilian astronauts boarded a sleek white spacecraft named Stellar Voyager. Among them was Dr. Elena Martinez, a 42-year-old marine biologist from California who had won her ticket through a global lottery. She stood at the edge of history, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and trepidation. For decades, space travel had been the exclusive domain of highly trained astronauts and government agencies. But now, thanks to the relentless efforts of private companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin Galactic, the dream of space tourism was finally becoming a reality. Elena's journey began months earlier, when she received the life-changing email. She had entered the lottery on a whim, never imagining she would actually win. The prize was a seat on a suborbital flight that would take her to the edge of space, offering her a glimpse of the curvature of Earth and a few precious minutes of weightlessness. The cost? A staggering $250,000, a price tag that made her gasp. But for Elena, this was more than just a vacation. It was the culmination of a lifelong dream. The rise of space tourism. The concept of space tourism wasn't new. In fact, it had been floating around since the 1960s when the Apollo missions first captured the world's imagination. But for decades, it remained a distant fantasy, limited by technological constraints and astronomical costs. That began to change in the early 2000s, when a handful of visionary entrepreneurs decided to take matters into their own hands. Elon Musk founded SpaceX in 2002 with the ambitious goal of making humanity a multi-planetary species. Jeff Bezos launched Blue Origin in 2000, driven by his childhood fascination with space. And Richard Branson established Virgin Galactic in 2004, aiming to offer commercial space flights to the public. These companies, along with others like Axiom Space and Orbital Assembly, began to push the boundaries of what was possible. The first major milestone came in 2001, when American businessman Dennis Tito became the first paying space tourist. He spent 8 days aboard the International Space Station, ISS, paying a reported $20 million for the privilege. Over the next 2 decades, a handful of other wealthy individuals followed in his footsteps, but space tourism remained out of reach for the average person. That began to change in the 2020s as technological advancements and increased competition drove down costs. SpaceX's reusable rockets, Blue Origin's New Shepard spacecraft, and Virgin Galactic's Spaceship Two made it possible to offer suborbital flights at a fraction of the previous cost. By 2023, the industry was poised for takeoff, literally. Preparing for the journey for Elena, the journey began with a rigorous training program. Unlike professional astronauts who spend years preparing for their missions, space tourists undergo a condensed version of the process. Over the course of 6 weeks, Elena and her fellow passengers learned about the physics of spaceflight, the effects of microgravity on the human body, and the safety protocols they would need to follow. The training wasn't easy. Elena endured hours in a centrifuge, simulating the intense G-forces of launch and re-entry. She practiced emergency procedures in a mock spacecraft and spent time in a zero-gravity simulator, learning how to move and eat in weightlessness. But through it all, she remained focused on the prize, the chance to see Earth from space. As the launch date approached, Elena traveled to the spaceport in New Mexico, where Virgin Galactic's Spaceship Two was waiting. The sleek white spacecraft looked like something out of a sci-fi movie, with its futuristic design and large windows offering panoramic views of space. Elena felt a surge of excitement as she climbed aboard, strapping herself into her seat alongside her fellow passengers, the flight of a lifetime. The countdown began, and Elena's heart raced as the engines roared to life. The spacecraft accelerated rapidly, pressing her into her seat as it climbed through the atmosphere. Within minutes, the sky outside the windows turned from blue to black, and the curvature of Earth came into view. For a few precious minutes, Elena experienced the wonder of weightlessness. She floated in her seat, gazing in awe at the breathtaking vista outside. The Earth below was a mosaic of blues and greens, dotted with swirling white clouds. The thin blue line of the atmosphere glowed faintly against the blackness of space, a fragile reminder of the planet's vulnerability. As the spacecraft began its descent, Elena felt a pang of sadness. The experience had been everything she had dreamed of and more, but it had passed all too quickly. She knew, however, that this was just the beginning. For her, and for countless others, space tourism was no longer a distant dream. It was a reality. The future of space tourism. Elena's journey was just one small step in the evolution of space tourism. In the years that followed, the industry continued to grow at an astonishing pace. By 2030, suborbital flights had become almost routine, with companies offering regular departures from spaceports around the world. The cost of a ticket had dropped to $50,000, making it accessible to a broader audience. But the real game changer came in 2035, when the first orbital space hotel opened its doors. Built by Axiom Space, the hotel was a sleek, modular structure that orbited Earth at an altitude of 250 miles. Guests could spend up to a week aboard the hotel, enjoying gourmet meals, panoramic views, and even spacewalks. The price? A cool $1 million per person. For those with even deeper pockets, lunar tourism became a reality in the 2040s. SpaceX's Starship spacecraft, capable of carrying up to 100 passengers, began offering week-long trips to the Moon. Guests could walk on the lunar surface, visit historic Apollo landing sites, and gaze back at Earth from 250,000 miles away. The cost? $10 million per ticket. Challenges and opportunities. Despite its rapid growth, the space tourism industry faced significant challenges. Safety remained a top concern, as even a single accident could set the industry back years. Regulatory hurdles also loomed large, with governments struggling to keep pace with the rapid advancements in technology. But the opportunities were immense. Space tourism had the potential to revolutionize not just travel, but our understanding of the universe. By making space accessible to ordinary people, it could inspire a new generation of scientists, engineers, and explorers. It could also drive technological innovation, leading to breakthroughs in areas like renewable energy, materials science, and artificial intelligence. A new era of exploration. As Elena returned to Earth, she couldn't help but reflect on the significance of her journey. She had seen the world from a perspective that few humans had ever experienced, and it had changed her forever. She knew that space tourism was more than just a luxury. It was a gateway to a new era of exploration and discovery. In the decades to come, humanity would continue to push the boundaries of what was possible. Space tourism would evolve from suborbital flights to orbital hotels, lunar vacations, and perhaps even journeys to Mars. The final frontier was no longer out of reach. It was our next destination. As Elena stepped off the spacecraft and back onto solid ground, she looked up at the sky and smiled. The stars were calling, and humanity was ready to answer. The ripple effect of space tourism. Elena's journey didn't end when she returned to Earth. In fact, it was just the beginning. Her experience as one of the first civilian space tourists sparked a wave of inspiration that rippled across the globe. Schools invited her to speak about her adventure, and her social media posts about the fragility of Earth from space went viral. She became an advocate for environmental conservation, using her platform to highlight the importance of protecting our planet. But Elena wasn't the only one whose life was transformed by space tourism. The industry's growth created a ripple effect that touched countless lives. Engineers, scientists, and entrepreneurs were inspired to push the boundaries of what was possible. New jobs were created in fields like aerospace engineering, hospitality, and space medicine. And for the first time, space wasn't just for astronauts. It was for everyone. The democratization of space. By the late 2030s, space tourism had become more accessible than ever. Companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin introduced tiered pricing models, offering shorter, more affordable flights for those who couldn't afford the full experience. A 30-minute suborbital flight, for example, cost around $25,000. Still a significant amount, but within reach for many middle-class families. At the same time, governments and private organizations began offering scholarships and grants to make space travel more inclusive. Programs like the Space for All initiative provided funding for students, artists, and scientists to experience space and bring their unique perspectives back to Earth. For the first time, space tourism wasn't just a luxury for the wealthy. It was a tool for education and inspiration. The birth of space culture. As more people traveled to space, a new culture began to emerge. Space-themed art, music, and literature flourished, inspired by the awe-inspiring views and life-changing experiences of space tourists. Musicians composed symphonies inspired by the silence of space, while artists created stunning visual works depicting the Earth from above. Space tourism also gave rise to new traditions. Couples began exchanging vows in zero gravity, with the Earth as their backdrop. Families celebrated milestone birthdays and anniversaries aboard orbital hotels. And for some, space became a place of healing, a chance to gain perspective and find peace amidst the vastness of the cosmos. The challenges ahead. Despite its many successes, the space tourism industry faced significant challenges. Safety remained a top priority, as even a single accident could have devastating consequences. In 2038, a minor malfunction during a suborbital flight caused a temporary grounding of all commercial spaceflights. The incident served as a stark reminder of the risks involved and the need for rigorous safety standards. Environmental concerns also came to the forefront. While space tourism had the potential to inspire environmental awareness, it also raised questions about its impact on Earth's atmosphere. The carbon emissions from rocket launches, though relatively small compared to other industries, were a growing concern. Companies responded by investing in cleaner, more sustainable technologies such as reusable rockets and biofuel-powered engines. The next frontier, Mars and beyond. By the 2040s, space tourism had expanded beyond Earth's orbit. SpaceX's Starship spacecraft, capable of carrying up to 100 passengers, began offering trips to the Moon. Lunar tourism became the ultimate bucket list experience, with travelers spending a week exploring the Moon's surface and visiting historic Apollo landing sites. But the real prize was Mars. Elon Musk's vision of a self-sustaining colony on the Red Planet was slowly becoming a reality. By 2050, the first crewed mission to Mars was underway, with plans to establish a permanent settlement within the decade. While Mars tourism was still decades away, it was no longer a question of if, but when. A new perspective on Earth. For many space tourists, the most profound impact of their journey was the shift in perspective it brought. Seeing Earth from space, a tiny, fragile oasis in the vastness of the cosmos, was a life-changing experience. Astronauts had long spoken of the overview effect, a cognitive shift in awareness that comes from seeing the Earth from space. Now, ordinary people were experiencing it too. This newfound perspective had far-reaching implications. Space tourists returned to Earth with a deeper appreciation for its beauty and a stronger commitment to protecting it. Many became advocates for environmental conservation, using their experiences to raise awareness about climate change and the importance of sustainability. The legacy of space tourism. As Elena looked back on her journey, she marveled at how far humanity had come. What had once been a distant dream was now a thriving industry, transforming lives and shaping the future of exploration. Space tourism had opened the door to a new era of discovery. inspiring people to reach for the stars and beyond. But it was also a reminder of our responsibility to care for the planet we call home. As Elena often said in her speeches, space isn't just a destination, it's a mirror. It shows us who we are and what we're capable of. And if we can dream of traveling to the stars, surely we can dream of a better future for Earth. Epilogue. The stars are calling. In the years that followed, space tourism continued to evolve. Orbital hotels became more luxurious, lunar vacations more affordable, and Mars colonization more tangible. The industry faced challenges, but it also brought opportunities for innovation, inspiration, and connection. For Elena, the journey was far from over. She had become a symbol of the new space age, a reminder that the stars were within reach for anyone with the courage to dream. And as she looked up at the night sky, she knew that the best was yet to come. The golden age of space tourism. By the 2060s, space tourism had entered what many called its golden age. What had once been a niche industry for the ultra-wealthy had blossomed into a global phenomenon, with millions of people traveling to space each year. Orbital hotels had become as common as luxury resorts, and lunar vacations were a rite of passage for adventurous travelers. But the real excitement lay in the next frontier: Mars. The first crewed mission to Mars in 2050 had been a resounding success, paving the way for the establishment of a permanent colony. By 2065, the Mars Terraforming Initiative was underway, with scientists and engineers working to make the red planet habitable for future generations. While Mars tourism was still in its infancy, a handful of wealthy pioneers had already made the journey, spending months exploring the planet's rugged terrain and marveling at its otherworldly beauty. The rise of space cities. One of the most remarkable developments of the era was the rise of space cities. Companies like Orbital Assembly and Axiom Space had begun constructing massive, rotating space stations capable of housing thousands of people. These cities, often referred to as space arcs, were designed to be self-sustaining, with artificial gravity, green spaces, and even simulated weather systems. The first space city, Elysium 1, opened its doors in 2062. Located in low Earth orbit, it was a marvel of engineering and design. Its residents enjoyed breathtaking views of Earth, state-of-the-art amenities, and a lifestyle that was truly out of this world. For many, it was the ultimate escape, a chance to live among the stars while still being close to home. The ethics of space exploration. As space tourism continued to grow, so did the ethical questions surrounding it. Who had the right to explore and colonize space? How could we ensure that space travel was sustainable and equitable? And what responsibilities did we have to protect other planets and celestial bodies? These questions sparked heated debates among scientists, policymakers, and the public. Some argued that space exploration was a natural extension of human curiosity and ingenuity, while others warned of the dangers of repeating the mistakes of colonialism on a cosmic scale. In response, the United Nations established the Office of Outer Space Affairs, tasked with regulating space tourism and ensuring that it benefited all of humanity. The role of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence played a crucial role in the growth of space tourism. AI-powered systems were used to design and operate spacecraft, manage space cities, and even assist passengers during their journeys. Virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR, technologies allowed people to experience space from the comfort of their homes, making it accessible to those who couldn't afford to travel. But AI also raised concerns about job displacement and the loss of human connection. As space tourism became increasingly automated, some worried that it would lose its sense of wonder and adventure. To address these concerns, companies began offering hybrid experiences that combined cutting-edge technology with personalized human touch. The next generation of space tourists. For the children of the 2060s, space travel was a normal part of life. Schools offered field trips to orbital hotels, and families spent their vacations exploring the moon or visiting space cities. These space natives grew up with a deep understanding of the cosmos and a sense of responsibility for its future. One such child was 12-year-old Aiden Martinez, Elena's grandson. Aiden had grown up hearing stories about his grandmother's historic journey and dreamed of following in her footsteps. When he won a scholarship to attend a summer space camp on Elysium 1, he was overjoyed. For Aiden, space wasn't just a destination, it was home, the legacy of space tourism. As the 21st century drew to a close, space tourism had transformed the world in ways no one could have imagined. It had inspired a new generation of explorers, driven technological innovation, and brought people closer together. But perhaps its greatest legacy was the perspective it offered, a reminder of our place in the universe and the importance of protecting our planet. For Elena, now in her 80s, the journey had come full circle. She had witnessed the birth of space tourism and lived to see it become a global phenomenon. As she watched her grandson prepare for his own journey to space, she felt a sense of pride and hope. The stars were no longer out of reach. They were a part of humanity's story. Epilogue, to infinity and beyond. In the years that followed, space tourism continued to evolve. Mars became a popular destination, with luxury resorts and research stations dotting its surface. Space cities expanded, offering new opportunities for exploration and discovery. And as humanity looked to the stars, it also looked inward, striving to create a better future for Earth and beyond. For Aiden, the journey was just beginning. As he boarded the spacecraft that would take him to Elysium 1, he felt a sense of excitement and wonder. He knew that he was part of something bigger, a legacy of exploration and discovery that stretched back generations. The interstellar dream. By the late 21st century, humanity's ambitions had grown beyond the confines of the solar system. The success of Mars colonization and the flourishing space tourism industry had set the stage for the next great leap: interstellar travel. While still in its infancy, the dream of visiting other star systems was no longer the stuff of science fiction. Breakthroughs in propulsion technology, such as fusion drives and light sails, had made it theoretically possible to reach nearby stars within a human lifetime. The Proxima Centauri project, launched in 2085, was humanity's first serious attempt at interstellar exploration. A crewed mission to Proxima Centauri b, an Earth-like exoplanet located just 4.24 light-years away, was planned for the early 22nd century. While the journey would take decades, advancements in cryogenic sleep and generational spacecraft made it feasible. For the first time, humanity dared to dream of becoming an interstellar species. The evolution of space tourism. As interstellar exploration captured the public's imagination, space tourism continued to evolve. By the 2090s, orbital hotels and lunar resorts had become commonplace, and Mars vacations were as routine as trips to Europe had been a century earlier. But the real excitement lay in the new frontiers being explored. One of the most popular destinations was Titan, Saturn's largest moon. Known for its stunning landscapes of methane lakes and icy dunes, Titan offered a truly alien experience. Luxury resorts on the moon's surface provided guests with heated domes and guided tours of its otherworldly terrain. For the more adventurous, there were even submersible excursions into its methane seas. Another emerging destination was Europa, Jupiter's icy moon. Beneath its frozen surface lay a vast ocean, believed to harbour extraterrestrial life. Research stations on Europa offered tourists the chance to witness groundbreaking discoveries firsthand, from the exploration of underwater ecosystems to the search for microbial life. The ethical dilemmas of interstellar travel. As humanity prepared to venture beyond the solar system, new ethical dilemmas emerged. Who had the right to claim and colonize exoplanets? How could we ensure that interstellar exploration didn't repeat the mistakes of Earth's colonial past? And what responsibilities did we have to protect potential extraterrestrial life? These questions sparked intense debate among scientists, ethicists, and policymakers. The Interstellar Ethics Council, established in 2029, was tasked with developing guidelines for interstellar exploration and ensuring that it was conducted responsibly. One of its first acts was to declare Proxima Centauri be a protected zone, off limits to colonization until further studies could be conducted. The role of space tourism in interstellar exploration. Space tourism played a crucial role in funding and advancing interstellar exploration. The profits from luxury space travel were reinvested into research and development, accelerating the pace of technological innovation. Space tourists themselves became ambassadors for the cause, sharing their experiences and inspiring others to support the dream of reaching the stars. One such ambassador was Dr. Sophia Khan, a renowned astrophysicist and space tourist. Sophia had traveled to Mars, Titan, and Europa, documenting her journeys in a series of best-selling books and documentaries. Her work helped to demystify space travel and make it accessible to a global audience. In 2095, she was selected as one of the crew members for the Proxima Centauri project, becoming the first space tourist to embark on an interstellar journey. The legacy of space tourism. As the 22nd century dawned, space tourism had become an integral part of human culture. It had transformed the way we saw ourselves and our place in the universe, inspiring a sense of wonder and curiosity that transcended borders and generations. It had also driven technological innovation, creating new industries and opportunities that benefited all of humanity. But perhaps its greatest legacy was the perspective it offered. Seeing Earth from space had reminded us of our shared humanity and the fragility of our planet. It had inspired a global movement to protect and preserve our home, even as we reached for the stars. Epilogue. The stars are our destiny. For Sophia Khan, the journey to Proxima Centauri b was the culmination of a lifetime of dreams. As she boarded the Stellar Odyssey, the spacecraft that would carry her to the stars, she felt a sense of awe and humility. She knew that she was part of something bigger, a legacy of exploration and discovery that stretched back to the dawn of humanity. The age of interstellar tourism. By the early 22nd century, humanity's reach had extended far beyond the solar system. The successful arrival of the Stellar Odyssey at Proxima Centauri b in 2115 marked the beginning of a new era, the age of interstellar tourism. While still in its infancy, the prospect of travelling to another star system captured the imagination of people across the globe. The dream of standing on an alien world, gazing up at an unfamiliar sky, was no longer confined to the realm of science fiction. The first interstellar tourists were a select group of scientists, adventurers, and wealthy pioneers. They embarked on a journey that would take decades, relying on advanced cryogenic sleep technology to endure the long voyage. For those who couldn't commit to such an epic journey, virtual reality experiences offered a taste of interstellar exploration, allowing people to explore Proxima Centauri b from the comfort of their homes. The challenges of interstellar travel. Interstellar tourism was not without its challenges. The vast distances involved made it a logistical and technological feat unlike anything humanity had ever attempted. Cryogenic sleep, while effective, was not without risks. Passengers had to undergo rigorous medical evaluations and psychological screenings to ensure they were fit for the journey. One of the most famous spaceports was Starhaven, located in geostationary orbit above Earth. With its sleek, futuristic design and state-of-the-art facilities, Starhaven was a marvel of engineering. It featured luxury hotels, gourmet restaurants, and even a museum dedicated to the history of space exploration. For many, it was the ultimate destination, a place where the past, present, and future of humanity converged. The next generation of spacecraft. The success of interstellar tourism was made possible by a new generation of spacecraft. These vessels, powered by fusion drives and equipped with advanced life support systems, were capable of travelling at a significant fraction of the speed of light. They were also designed with comfort in mind, offering passengers spacious cabins, recreational facilities, and panoramic views of the cosmos. One such spacecraft was the Celestial Voyager, a luxury liner that offered interstellar cruises to Proxima Centauri b. With its elegant design and world-class amenities, the Celestial Voyager was the epitome of interstellar travel. Passengers could enjoy fine dining, live entertainment, and even zero-gravity yoga classes as they journeyed to the stars. The impact of interstellar tourism. Interstellar tourism had a profound impact on humanity. It inspired a new sense of unity and purpose, reminding us that we were all part of something bigger. It also drove technological innovation, leading to breakthroughs in fields like energy, medicine, and artificial intelligence. But perhaps its greatest impact was on our understanding of the universe. For the first time, we were able to explore worlds beyond our solar system, gaining new insights into the nature of life and the cosmos. These discoveries challenged our assumptions and expanded our horizons, pushing us to rethink our place in the universe. The legacy of space tourism. As the 22nd century progressed, space tourism continued to evolve. New destinations were discovered, new technologies were developed, and new generations of explorers took up the mantle. But the legacy of space tourism was more than just the sum of its achievements. It was a testament to the power of human curiosity and the enduring spirit of exploration. For Sophia Khan, now in her 80s, the journey had come full circle. She had witnessed the birth of space tourism and lived to see it become an interstellar phenomenon. As she watched the Celestial Voyager depart from Starhaven, bound for Proxima Centauri b, she felt a sense of pride and hope. The stars were no longer out of reach. They were a part of humanity's story. Epilogue to the stars and beyond. In the years that followed, interstellar tourism continued to grow. New star systems were explored, new worlds were discovered, and new possibilities emerged. Humanity's journey to the stars was just beginning, and the best was yet to come. For Aidan Martinez, now a renowned astrophysicist and space tourist, the journey was far from over. As he prepared to embark on his own interstellar adventure, he felt a sense of excitement and wonder. He knew that he was part of something bigger, a legacy of exploration and discovery that stretched back generations. The Galactic Renaissance. By the mid-22nd century, humanity had entered what historians would later call the Galactic Renaissance. Interstellar tourism had become a thriving industry, with millions of people traveling to distant star systems each year. The discovery of habitable exoplanets, advanced propulsion systems, and the establishment of interstellar colonies had transformed space travel from a dream into a routine part of life. One of the most popular destinations was Eden Prime, a lush, Earth-like planet orbiting Alpha Centauri A. With its temperate climate, vibrant ecosystems, and stunning landscapes, Eden Prime was a paradise for tourists and colonists alike. Luxury resorts dotted its coastline, offering guests the chance to relax on alien beaches and explore its pristine wilderness. For many, it was the ultimate escape, a chance to start anew in a world untouched by the scars of Earth's past. The challenges of a galactic civilization. As humanity spread across the stars, new challenges emerged. The vast distances between star systems made communication and transportation difficult, leading to the development of quantum entanglement networks for instant communication. These networks allowed colonies to stay connected with Earth and each other, fostering a sense of unity across the galaxy. However, the expansion of humanity also raised questions about governance and identity. How could a galactic civilization remain cohesive when its people were scattered across light years? The United Federation of Earth and Colonies, UFEC, was established to address these challenges, providing a framework for cooperation and conflict resolution among Earth and its interstellar colonies. The role of artificial intelligence in galactic tourism. Artificial intelligence played a crucial role in the growth of galactic tourism. AI-powered systems managed everything from spacecraft navigation to colony infrastructure, ensuring that interstellar travel was safe and efficient. Virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR technologies allowed people to explore distant worlds without leaving their homes, making galactic tourism accessible to a wider audience. But AI also raised ethical concerns. As AI systems became more advanced, some worried about the loss of human agency and the potential for misuse. To address these concerns, the UFEC established the Galactic AI Ethics Board, tasked with ensuring that AI was used responsibly and transparently. The birth of galactic culture. As humanity spread across the stars, a new galactic culture began to emerge. This culture was a fusion of Earth's diverse traditions and the unique experiences of life in space. Music, art, and literature flourished, inspired by the beauty and mystery of the cosmos. One of the most famous examples of galactic culture was the Symphony of the Stars, a musical composition created by an AI artist named Lyra. The symphony was a hauntingly beautiful piece that captured the essence of interstellar travel, from the quiet solitude of deep space to the awe-inspiring beauty of alien worlds. It became an anthem for the galactic renaissance, inspiring millions across the galaxy. The search for extraterrestrial life. One of the most exciting aspects of galactic tourism was the search for extraterrestrial life. While microbial life had been discovered on Europa and Mars, the discovery of intelligent life remained elusive. However, the exploration of distant exoplanets brought new hope. In 2145, a team of scientists on Eden Prime discovered the ruins of an ancient alien civilization. The discovery sent shockwaves through the galaxy, sparking a renewed interest in archaeology and xenobiology. Tourists flocked to Eden Prime to see the ruins for themselves, marveling at the intricate carvings and mysterious artifacts left behind by a long-lost civilization. The legacy of galactic tourism. Galactic tourism had a profound impact on humanity. It inspired a new sense of wonder and curiosity, reminding us that the universe was full of possibilities. It also drove technological innovation, leading to breakthroughs in fields like energy, medicine, and artificial intelligence. But perhaps its greatest legacy was the perspective it offered. Seeing Earth from the vantage point of distant star systems reminded us of our shared humanity and the fragility of our planet. It inspired a global movement to protect and preserve our home, even as we reached for the stars. Epilogue. To the stars and beyond. As the 22nd century drew to a close, humanity's journey to the stars was far from over. New star systems were explored, new worlds were discovered, and new possibilities emerged. The galactic renaissance was just the beginning, and the best was yet to come. For Aidan Martinez, now a celebrated explorer and advocate for galactic tourism, the journey was a testament to the power of human curiosity and the enduring spirit of exploration. As he gazed out at the stars from the deck of the celestial Voyager, he felt a sense of awe and humility. He knew that he was part of something bigger, a legacy of exploration and discovery that stretched back generations. The infinite horizon. As the 23rd century dawned, humanity stood at the precipice of a new era. What had begun as a dream, a longing to touch the stars, had blossomed into a reality that surpassed even the wildest imaginations of those who first gazed at the night sky in wonder. Space tourism, once a luxury reserved for the elite, had become a cornerstone of human civilization. It had transformed not only how we traveled, but also how we saw ourselves and our place in the universe. From the first suborbital flights of the early 21st century to the interstellar colonies of the 22nd century, space tourism had evolved into a force that united humanity. It had inspired generations to dream bigger, reach further, and explore the unknown. It had driven technological advancements that improved life on Earth and beyond. And it had given us a new perspective, one that reminded us of the fragility of our planet and the boundless potential of our species. The lessons of space tourism. The journey to the stars taught humanity invaluable lessons. It showed us that curiosity and collaboration could overcome even the greatest challenges. It reminded us that exploration was not just about discovering new worlds, but also about understanding ourselves. And it proved that the spirit of adventure was alive and well, even in an age of advanced technology and artificial intelligence. Space tourism also highlighted the importance of responsibility. As we ventured into the cosmos, we learned to tread lightly, respecting the environments we encountered and the life that might exist there. The Interstellar Ethics Council and the Galactic AI Ethics Board became symbols of our commitment to exploring the universe with humility and care. The future of space tourism. As humanity looked to the future, the possibilities were endless. New star systems awaited exploration, new civilizations awaited discovery, and new frontiers awaited settlement. The dream of traveling to the stars had become a reality, but the journey was far from over. In the coming centuries, space tourism would continue to evolve. Faster propulsion systems, such as antimatter engines and warp drives, would make interstellar travel more accessible. Virtual reality would allow people to explore distant worlds without leaving their homes. And the discovery of extraterrestrial life would open up new avenues of scientific and cultural exchange. But perhaps the most exciting prospect was the idea of becoming a multi-planetary species. Mars, Titan, Europa, and Proxima Centauri b were just the beginning. As humanity spread across the galaxy, we would carry with us the lessons of our past and the dreams of our future. The legacy of exploration. For those who had witnessed the dawn of space tourism, the journey was a testament to the power of human ingenuity and imagination. People like Elena Martinez, Sophia Khan, and Aidan Martinez had played a part in shaping this new era, inspiring others to follow in their footsteps. Their stories were a reminder that the stars were not just a destination, but a symbol of what we could achieve when we dared to dream. As the celestial Voyager prepared for its next journey, this time to a newly discovered exoplanet in the TRAPPIST-1 system, Aidan Martinez stood on the observation deck, gazing out at the infinite horizon. He thought of his grandmother, Elena, and the pioneers who had come before her. He thought of the challenges they had faced and the triumphs they had celebrated. And he thought of the generations yet to come, who would carry the torch of exploration into the unknown. Final words: to the stars and beyond. The story of space tourism is not just a story of technology and discovery. It is a story of hope, resilience, and the unquenchable human spirit. It is a story that reminds us that no matter how far we travel, we are all connected by our shared humanity and our shared dreams. As the celestial Voyager launched into the void, its passengers knew that they were part of something bigger. A legacy of exploration that stretched back to the dawn of humanity and forward into the infinite horizon. The stars were no longer out of reach. They were our destiny.